So the first jump is hands-on design called Stitching by the Sea. And as you can see, I have a fabric for both pieces, for a basket and a little pillow. I have all the required threads. Most of it is Gentle Arts. There's some sample threads and some Simply Shaker ones, but you can see all the beautiful color variations. Oh, I love the turquoise. So just on a couple is gonna be needed of regular DMC, and to keep me company, I'm gonna have a couple of girls with me. So this one is just sitting here doing nothing. It's just shiny for me. And to keep me from being thirsty are my mermaids, because you know underwater it's a salty water. So they're gonna help me keep company and keep me hydrated while I pursue this crazy idea, crazy jump. So let's see what we can come up with. Right, girls? Say yes. All right, let's get on. And it's the second day of May. So I've been stitching on this hands-on design, Stitching by the Sea, a second day. So I'll show you how much I've done. I kind of stopped. It's late afternoon. And let's see how much it's done so far. I started doing on the basket. And ta-da! So to compare, I've done all the fishes. You can kind of see only the bottom when it sits, but the whole bottom part is the one that sits on the table, is hiding there. And I've done like the whole, let's see, like the whole one part, like let's say this part with the bottom part I've done. So by my calculations, if you want to do like I did this middle and that part, it took about 3.5 hours, and I've been watching Flosstuber constantly, so I don't know if it's fast or not, but add 4 more hours about, and that's what I got. And I think it's pretty good stopping point. Just want to point out that I don't know if you're planning to do the same way, but like I have a stitches going, top ones going from this to that side, and here the same, but from here it's the opposite. So when you fold up, and whichever way you want to look, it's always gonna be the same same way the stitch is looking. So just have to remember that. I didn't do this on the middle part, but I did on all the fishes, and I'm gonna do but with the riding and everything else that's left. The only thing I did not use with the threads that was suggested was the spring. Actually, I think you can come by without using like Wigs Dye Works or Gentle Arts or any other over dye threads in these parts, because it would be super hard to see. But the orange, I was looking now and noticed that pretty much the bottoms are the ones that have a dark colored what is it, like a goldfishes, and that was done by accident. I didn't even pay attention how I was doing, although by staring at the you know, Flosstuber, I did several mistakes, so I had to unfrog it. So I swallowed several fishes that way. But I redid it because it's all those calculations, you know, especially when you have to do one by one stitch, and I was trying not to stretch too much in between, so I can kind of show you the bottom, I mean the back side. So that's what I meant, you know, I didn't want to do long stretches, so I was doing and trying to calculate, sort of like do like a labyrinth, how to go, which way to go. And I always started like from here and going, and so yeah. So anyway, that's my first StitchMaynia of 2019 piece, and I'm happy with how much I've done. And Don't know when I'm gonna grab it next, but when I do, you'll be there with me. So that's it for that. And speaking of other fishes, like you see, decided to grab my one of the Stitch 9 challenges I want to finish this year. So this is Mermaids of the Deep Blue by Mirabilia, and I already did a little bit of the skin before I started filming, so it's about this much I've done already. Since I posted on my challenges that we have to each month do something at least with some of the patterns in different themes. So I'm doing the skin 1/1 with different splendor threads, so I have it kind of marked. I have I bought several big not containers but thread holders like that, so I have gonna have plenty left, but weirdly you can't get, even like 1 to 3 stitch, you can't get all of the colors like singularly. So I've been looking. So anyway, I'm not following an exact little big squares as the pattern suggests, because it I've done the same with the other skin tones. So I'm kind of sort of following around the line, mixing in so it would be smoother. So we'll see how it goes. So that's gonna be one of my maybe next few days. I'll work a couple hours total, but I want to do some progress on this because she's gonna have a long arm sticking out, and there's of course it's gonna be a face. And then I want to finish this. I have 2 Mirabilias I want to finish this year, and I have 2 new ones waiting in the background to be started. So long story short, I want to have some progress done on this during the month of May. All right, so tomorrow I'll show you how much I've done with this, and we'll see what I grab next. Hello, this is Jurgita, and today is May 4th, and I'm about to start this Dimensions Gold Collection, Milady Chateau. It's been out of print for a while, and I know in some parts of world is being reprinted for limited time, but let's see what it entails in a kit. It says it's 18 by 12 frame size, and contains 14 count ivory Aida fabric, all the threads and the needles and all other stuff. So let's see what's inside of this beauty. So I took it out of the plastic packaging, and it's a year 1995 creation, and you can tell it's put together in America, not China like the newest ones do, because it's just tied up, mixed up colors in a bundle. So that's how it comes, and then it just slides out. Let's set the picture aside, and the threads are just like that. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bundles and a little bit of the brown. So all of them will need to be sorted out, but seems like they're all about the same length cut. It's probably what, 91 centimeters. So this is the Aida fabric, and it's not serge or anything, so I'll have to do that. And it's a good size. You can't even tell the size. Let's see what else it comes. Well, it says that they've been moved, so they've been moved for a while, and it had included all the thread sorter thing, and there's a couple of them. It has to sort the colors, so it's grouped by bundles, so you go which like would have a majority of the colors. For example, this is olive green, it would be 28, and then you go then sort it out by that, and it's code number or thread number that it has. There's a cotton to hold it nice and sturdy, and like always, they have a needle separately, not stuck in the fabric, which I like because sometimes fabric could be rusted needle container kind of thing. So there are, is that 26? There's two different head sizes, so might be 26 and 28 or 24, 26. So it's instructions how to do all the stitches and how to figure out fabric. If you wanted to do the writing, how to get ready. So the pattern is inside. So I'll show you a little bit of it, so you can kind of tell that there's going to be some back stitching. The pattern chart is colored. Sometimes it's easier. Some people don't like it. They want a black and white. I don't have a problem with that. And how to use a stitch order. And like it used to be that separately where to do like a back stitching. And symbol key card is on the side, so you can kind of cut off, and how to clean it and how to frame it. So that's all there is. So I'm gonna start this today as part of my 2019 Stitch Mania. And the hardest thing, longest time, is gonna be to sort out the threads, but they're beautiful. Some of them I might have to wash it, make sure the very dark colors don't bleed, because they've been in the packaging for a while too. They could set up, but I think it's gonna be a very fun journey, and I hope you guys go on it with me, because I love the scenery and it's gonna be lovely to stitch. They're gonna have all kinds of different stitches, like, you know, half stitch or different amounts of full cross, some back stitching, some straight stitch. But it's beautiful scenery, and it's again Milady Chateau, and the number 3790. So let's go where it's gonna start, and we'll have a fun trip. Okay, till the next part. So while sorting out, I noticed when you're reading that it tells you how to identify the bundles, like by the color of the yarn. So I started looking at yarn, and yes, there it is. So there's bundle 1 with the white yarn, then there's bundle 2, bundle 3, and pink one is bundle 4, and total colors are 39. But for those who don't like to be, I'll show you, too much confused, I noticed that they're like the same symbols in 4 different colors. Like, you know, you would have a letter E and the red heart that's empty. Then you would have a same E in the light color blue. Then you would have a same E in the green. So it's like 4 different color markings, and most of them have the exact same symbols, just in a different color. And the heart is empty and full, the same with like stars. Is it empty or full? So you would have to pay attention. I don't know if American version is the same, but just wanted to warn you, just in case you're getting the same American version. So I started making my the thread sorter, and we'll see if that works better than if you would have just by the colors, because like a pale peach shows up in one bundle marking, one marking and another marking over there. But I'm gonna start untying, since I know which bundle is exactly which, but it's always good to kind of double check which majority of the color there is, just in case if they mixed up the yarn. That would help them recognize each other. So I'm off to undo this and to clean off, wash off the threads. So I washed all my threads for Milady Chateau, and I let them all dry. I soaked them in the hot water to make sure that if there is any color that's gonna bleed it would bleed more probably in the hot water versus cold. So I think the majority of the problem was with my bundle 4 and 3. So I put all the yarn that it came with to recognize the bundles with it. So this dark green and green, I think, discolored water a tiny bit. It was slightly like murkier green color, but I'm gonna let them dry fully just to be sure, so I can later sort out. And that's my first bundle. And while this is drying, let's talk about the fabric. I looked, and actually this fabric is not cut straight. If you follow kind of the lines, it kind of did the curve. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to find where it matches from the thinnest part and pull out the threads, or just cut it along. But sometimes it's easier to pull the threads out, and then you would know where all this little thing is chopped off. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna finish the edges, and then I'm gonna wash the fabric just in case, because you know it's been sitting a while in there, and in case it also decides to shrink later on, I know it would not shrink again. So let's work on that, and then I'll come back when this is all done. And today is May 6th, so I just wanna show what I've done on this new start of StitchMaynia 2019. It's called Milady Chateau by Dimensions from their gold collection. And I had worked from these thread sorters like a Paco. And let's see how much I've done and where is my stopping point. So I did the corner here. I don't know why the camera is shaking here a bit. But as you can see, I finished this part, and just going into the trees. The trees are also half stitched with 3 threads, and it's just a mix of about 4 colors. So that's what I started to do, and I think I set it aside to start something new because it's the last day for the new one, and I'll show you which one it is. And the next one is, I'll show you what I did also. I organized all the colors like this, and those are pure colors. And I have also the collection of blends that I just did, like one of each. I cut it, and this is the design. Designer was Ekaterina Serogina, but painter, the one who painted this Christmas wreath, it was Svetlana Yeremeyeva. That's her name, who painted, and Serogina did the designing of the pattern. And of course, there's always blends with the designers like this. And I'm ready to stitch. I'm gonna be doing this on just plain antique white Lugana, 32 count, 2/2. So the piece of fabric is 18.5 by 20 inches. And I already did all the edges, sewed on around, and it's ready to go. So let's start. So about 3 hours passed, and we have a part of the bird. It was hard to figure out the center, and then you had to count over. Bird is gonna have some backstitch, of course. I just didn't do it. I already used several blends in it, and so far so good. I'm liking it. It's just like it is in the picture. So it was my another new start of StitchMaynia 2019, and I'm setting this aside, and all of this stays in the bag, set aside for some time next time. And I'm pulling out one that was started in 2017 StitchMaynia, and that is What's This by Heaven and Earth Designs. And again, I'm stitching this on a 28 count over 1, And as a reminder, I'll show you how much it is as of now before I start in StitchMaynia 2019. Excuse me. So I'm stitching this on a sparkly fabric, as you can see, and there's also some cryonic involved in the stitches, and I'm doing that with 2 threads, like a half stitch continental stitch. So right now it's just all the sky parts. So we'll see. Probably not gonna do a lot because there are other whips waiting before I kick off this Maynia with another new start. So I want to put at least some in next few days on this work. And it's late at night on what's the 6th, and decided to quit on what's this. So pretty much worked on this area and spread it out. So like in the pattern, wherever you see this bluish color, that's what I've done. And since I'm doing it half stitch, it goes much faster. Well, half stitch continental stitch. You can kind of see all the sparkles from acrylic, and I left a little bit here. So this is where the page ends on the bottom. So kind of stopped about half point and trying to fill it in all the little spots where it needed to be before continuing like down and doing like this way. But I think I did more than last year during StitchMaynia, so I'm happy about that. So don't know what I'm gonna grab next. Probably some of my whips that I have to give account for within the next few days. So I might just grab those few also big projects and put in at least 100 stitches each. We'll see how it goes. And I have all kinds of other life things happening, so yep, just wanted to show you what my heaven and earth, what's this looks like right now. So this is a stopping point. We'll see what gets next. Okay, I've decided I'm gonna work on this spoiled child, and it's just this area. So I'm gonna work for like probably one day, however much I can. So that's what it looks like right now. And let's see if we can make well, at least 100 stitches. I don't know how much time I'll have, so I'm not pushing myself too much. And again, it's just this corner, so it's gonna be like some darkness and coming up some kind of little jar thing here. So we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so just remember, that's what it looked like, at least for myself. And hello, next day, the what's it, 7th today. So I finished stitching the column, and actually, since I finally found the thread in the store, which was number 611, I don't know why, but all of the stores were out of it. So there were a couple of stitches left in the very beginning of the pattern. So anyway, I finished all of the in a row and already started the 5th row and stopped, because I usually do like try to do by the time, so I can keep track of how much approximately of the time I spent stitching on all the project. At first this line looked so weird and out of the sync, but when you look from further ahead, you also see that it's kind of stands out. So I guess when you don't look up close, it makes sense, like most of the full BAPs are. So anyway, this is done for today. Don't know if I'll pick it up anytime during StitchMaynia, because I have some new projects to do, and I'll show you about them in a minute. And what I've decided to start is this scissor spool and fob. I pulled out everything out of the package. It came as everything you need in the kit, in the bag with the ribbon tied up. So you see this unfinished spool. I think my camera is messing up something, like trying to focus and get clear, so it kind of might look glitchy. So anyway, this spool, it's only have a hole on a one side, the top. It came with full pearl cotton ball, and the same color is a DMC skein. There's a little bit ribbon with the washer. There's a thick some kind of thread. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's like a quilter's thread, feels like very tough. And there included needles and a little bit batting to do for it. The 2 pieces of 32 count linen. It was not finished edges. I did that so it does not unravel on me when I'm gonna start working on it. So the smaller part is gonna be for scissors fob, and the bigger, of course, for scissors roll. And the last thing that I had, I'll show you just a bit, is 3 sheets of paper instructions for scissor fob, some of the stitches, because it's gonna have satin stitch, it's gonna have Smyrna, and of course regular stitch, lazy daisy, long leg stitch. So what I needed to study a little bit more, because in the pattern it shows where it's gonna be folding over. When you look up close at this part, the top is going to be folded over, so you have to stitch the top part on the back side. So that's going to be interesting to do. And love the linen. It's a very nice color too, and we're gonna see how it does it. So let's go on this new type of journey with me, and I think I'm gonna start it now. We'll see how much I can do. At least I wanted to start. Okay, let's see how much we can do. So I spent about an hour on this scissor spool, and I'll show you without holding you too long how much I've done. Ta-da! So to compare, I did a couple of those hearts and started like partial heart here, and there was the S that was cross stitch, and stitched along was like a back stitch. And since it's thin Belfast, you can kind of see through. If you look against the light, you can tell that I did every word separately, like I can show in the back. So I closed off every heart separately and every word separately too. So I tried to kind of go along the lines to do that. And it was stitched with the 2 threads also, so it kind of I tried to go like in between the threads instead of outside, so it would be like a continuous line. But that's what I've done so far, and I think I'm gonna set it aside because I'm not gonna have any more time to work on it today. And there's previous whips that I need to catch up on again, and let's see what I'm gonna grab next. Okay, and this one, this is what I grabbed next. It's my George project, the BAP, group BAP that we have. And past few days I worked like nuts on this, and I got this page finish. I had where you see the needle, I had previously only one what do you call it, 10 width column done, so I finished the rest of the columns of the first page. So yep, so this is what 31 pages right now looks like, and decided to put it away. It's showing a little bit differently because of the way the light hits it. It's a wee bit darker. So of course now I'm tired of this for a bit, and their projects are calling my name again. And I'm gonna pick one of my previous whips, and let's see what that's gonna be. And this is, I think, what I'm gonna grab next, since I have by tomorrow or later tonight to give some report for my sort of challenge where we have to do some progress to show each month. So this is my beloved, and I wrote to Tina Stitches that because she's doing this on 25 count and I'm doing on my 14th, that hers looked to me so much, you know, better on a smaller count, and I was started to doubt my size, because, you know, it's gonna be big. It's kind of hanging even right now off the table. But she compared this to like a tapestry piece, and I guess I'll continue my tapestry. I don't know why it's showing more kind of bleached out. Is this maybe better? Yeah, so I guess I'll continue my tapestry. I mean, when you look from one side, it depends how my stitches are done, because I'm doing half stitch with 4 threads. So this is where I left it off from last time, and it's not that much more left. I mean, you can kind of tell where the fabric ends. It's probably around here. So did I say I'll put in a picture what the whole piece is supposed to look like? And we'll see how it continues. Too bad that his head, it was not a whole thing in. It would have been more fun to see the full head instead of just like this edge cut off. Although I think that's one of the main points is, you know, the face, the eyes, and then it's going to be the girl here, I think. So there's quite a bit still work to do to catch up to her, but, well, to Tina. But I'm not in that huge hurry, although it would be fun to see way more done on this. But as you've seen, I have lots of more projects that have been calling me, and literally this was before, like, was screaming at me, where are you? Well, you left me all alone. You know, look at those sad eyes. It's like, oh, I'm all lonely there. So anyway, let's grab this and see how much we can do today, because I think next piece would be Lady of the Flag, and that's getting towards completion. Also want to finish that one. So let's grab onto this and put some stitches on, shall we? And good rainy morning to you on the 11th, and guess which concert I got to go to last night? If you recognize or don't, this is Cher. So it was interesting. I'll talk, I think, about it more at my monthly overview. So let's put the coffee aside and let's see how much we've done on my beloved, or as their names are, Aileen and Rowan, I guess, according to like a book. So I stitched a few days ago. I gave my my Sal pictures on time, and then I kept stitching in the past few days. So, ta-da! If you remember, this was very sporadically, practically empty, and almost finished this piece. Still, to the end of the page, it's gonna be like down to here. So there's still quite a bit left, and there's a top hiding. So another column here would be added, and that would be like a page end from like about here. So that's pretty big page to do. And the next time, I'm hoping if I pull off again that much stitching, I might actually finish this page. So that's all I've done in the past few days in the stitching, because it was pretty busy. And I didn't get the stitch on my Lady of the Flag, which I'm gonna do next, I think. this afternoon, a whole thing, and evening is going to be taken over by life things again. So I think I'm going to finish my video of my first 10 days of Maynia here. And to recap, let me put this here. To recap, I stitched on 11 things. 4 of them were brand new. I finished a page on a George. That was the only big finish. I finished one bottle 99. So yeah, so I think that's pretty good amount, especially for 10 days work. So let's see what the next 10 days bring me. All right, that was Jurgita, and I'm glad you came by and visited me. And I hope you guys have a nice day, nice next 10 days of Maynia if you're doing it. If not, at least hopefully you're enjoying it. And I'll talk to you later on. Bye.